Hello friends, welcome to Cook to Nourish. Today's recipe is that of Aip Naan or grain-free naan. See the texture of it. I want to show you how beautiful it is, and it really does not look as if it's grain-free, but see that texture. It's absolutely great for eating with curries and such. All right, so start by taking 1 teaspoon of dried instant active dried yeast. To that, you add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Only use maple syrup, not honey. And then I'm going to take some lukewarm water. That's half a cup of lukewarm water. It should not be very hot. And then mix it together to get that yeast, to let that yeast ferment. So keep it aside for about 5 to 10 minutes covered. And now we'll get our flours together. I use 3 different types of flour here. All are grain free. So it's cassava flour, arrowroot flour, and coconut flour. So first I take about half a cup of cassava flour. I like to use Anthony's Goods. Next, 1/4 cup of arrowroot flour and 1/4 cup of the coconut flour. That's the ratio. And then we'll add a little bit of baking soda. That is 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And then I'm using cream of tartar as well. And that is like half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Instead of cream of tartar, you can also use 1 teaspoon lemon juice. And then I also add a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Now mix everything together like the dry flour so that they are well mixed, before you add the liquids. So now see, it's fermented. Now it didn't really rise too much. It all depends on the weather. Sometimes it rises really well, but even if it's risen a little bit, it's good because it'll give you that flavor. And next, I'm going to add coconut milk a little by little. So I'm adding 1/4 cup now. And I'll end up using another 1/4 cup, but I'm just adding it slowly. Because as I always say with the flours, you can never be sure of the texture. There is brand to brand. I'm sorry, there is batch to batch variation. So I like to add that liquid slowly. So I end up adding half a cup of the coconut milk, but I just do it slowly. And I'm just adding a few more tablespoons of it. So I ended up actually using that entire half cup that I had out. And now it's finally, all wet, and that's what we are looking for, that there is no dry flour, and it should, come together as a dough. So after mixing all this, I'm just going to cover and keep this for another 15 minutes or so. So it's not going to rise a lot. See, as you can see, it doesn't rise like your typical, like gluten dough. But, just letting it sit will help it to ferment a little bit more. And as you can see, it is nice and sticky. So I added about 2 teaspoons of olive oil so that it's smooth and not as sticky. And then, but still the texture of it is not, see, it's very soft. So you can't like roll it like a roti or a tortilla dough. But you just divide it into about 5 to 6 equal portions, balls, and then you just flatten it. Use a parchment paper and then just flatten it using your fingers or hands, and that's how you make the naan. You can make it into any shape, either round or oblong. Now I'm using a non-stick pan here for making this, just because when I tried, when I was recording the video, the iron a cast iron pan was actually not hot, and that's why I had a failure. That's why I did it with the non-stick. However, you can cook this on the cast iron pan too. Just make sure it's adequately hot before you add it. Just cook about 1 minute on each side. See how nicely it's getting golden brown on each side. And make sure the flame or the heat is on medium heat and not too hot. You want to cook it uniformly. So again, about 1 minute on each side, and it's done. If you feel that when you touch it, it's a little bit soft on one side, then just put it back again and cook it. See, that's the texture of it, and it's so bread like. And the taste is also absolutely delicious. It just is amazing, just like that, too. So I hope you can try this recipe and let me know in the comments how you like it. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe to my channel.